All right, and welcome back to part 2, episode 2 of this video covering the things I bought from this model train store's inventory. This box was actually the last thing, or one of the last things that I picked up my visit there last weekend. This caught my eye because, as you've heard in recent videos, I need more N-scale items badly, and so this definitely is going to help me do that. There are also some other interesting things floating around in here, so let's take a look and see what we're working with. Up first is a Port Huron N-scale boxcar by Trix. Most of the things in here are going to be Trix products. This is actually interesting because we got one of these in HO scale in the last video, but certainly happy to have that. I've had a few Trix items come through, and this is definitely one of the ones that I've had before. This is a Santa Fe caboose, probably one of the most common produced items in all of model railroad, and standard Santa Fe caboose with that classic logo. You know, Santa Fe stuff, like in HO, is a little bit oversaturated in N-scale, but I'm certainly not complaining. Here is a pretty cool undecorated caboose. I believe that's an Atlas car there, especially judging by the brown wheels. That's typically the standard kind of thing that they do. Here is one that I have not had before. This is a Bachmann car, one of the Spirit of 76 items. Let me know in the comments if you prefer Bachmann's Spirit of 76 items or if you like Lifelike and Tycho's more. Personally, I think the Bachmann stuff is kind of underrated. That's a pretty nice looking freight car right there. We'll go ahead and grab this set that I see here. I believe we actually have all 4 cars for this set. Yeah, I see the observation there. This is a pretty cool Trix set. I've had pieces of this come through, but never the full set all in one time. A couple of these seem to actually be in the wrong box, but this is a nice little Santa Fe set. I've only ever had the dome car for this set come through, and oddly enough, that's the one piece here that I don't see. Maybe it's floating around in the box somewhere, but I'm very, very happy to have that. I don't have any N-scale passenger cars in the store right now, so here's our first engine of the lot, one that I have not had yet. A really nice little Pennsylvania Railroad. I believe it's a 260, or no, it's an 060. Again, by Trix, very kind of retro feeling steam locomotive there. Not sure how good it's going to run. I think Trix stuff is usually pretty reliable from my experience. And like I said in that video with the Jupiter recently, I don't really get a lot of N-scale steam engines in. So here is a Southern Pacific Hopper by Aurora. Nice looking car there. Here's an Erie Lackawanna caboose by Atlas. I've seen a lot of Erie stuff in these lots. I think that was because originally this collector lived in New Jersey, I believe. Here is a, what does this say? Let me know how to pronounce this in the comment. I don't want to say it because I don't want to butcher it. A nice little tank car there. Nice little kind of company piece of rolling stock there. Really cool color. Have not had a lot of rolling stock in kind of that teal. Here's actually a part to a Lionel post-war piece. I believe it's one of those generator flatbeds. The gentleman that I bought these items from had a ton of post-war stuff, and I'm definitely going to go back in the future and pick up some of that. Here is a B&O gondola, again by Trix. Here's one I've never seen, Lehigh Valley hopper by AHM. I've had other hoppers in this tooling come through, but never the Lehigh Valley one. That's very, very cool. Here's another hopper. This one's for the EJ&E. Speaking of EJ&E, I really want to go film the Hartwell Railroad and get their EJ&E ST40 that they have down there. I really need to do that. It's on my list of things I want to go film to make a video on. Here is a MKT cattle car. I believe I've had one of those before. Definitely had one of these, the Carnation Milk Boxcar by Aurora. Here's something we had in HO in episode 1, a Great Northern Boxcar with that classic goat logo on there. Love that. We'll go ahead and grab this HO piece now that I'm thinking about it. This is actually an EBT shops car, something I've not had many of before. Very nice detail on this car though. The paint is a little bit blurry, but really cool Lackawanna car here in that classic kind of streamlined paint scheme they had. We'll go ahead and grab this Tycho SP trailer out of there as well. Actually, it might be the Bachmann, but I think it's Tycho. Here is a fun little Bible. This is, of course, not train related, but still very, very nice. Lovely little leather case on that. And here is something equally small that is train related. This is one of the postage stamp trains items here, and I believe this is some kind of switch or accessory power or something. Trix Express. Not sure exactly what the story is there. If somebody in the comments knows, please let me know. And here is a box with a, looks like a catalog for postage stamp trains on here. This is Aurora's kind of branding that they followed for the N-scale stuff. This has got to be a 70s catalog if I had to guess. And I think we've got some of the things that are in this catalog floating around in this collection. Look at some of these pieces of rolling stock. I love to get that hopper or the depressed center flatbed. There are some really cool pieces in here. There's even the warranty card in there for this set. But under this manual, we have a really cool 5-car set of B&O passenger cars, 4 dome cars and an observation, as well as 3 Union Pacific cabooses. I believe those B&O cars are the same tooling as the Santa Fe ones that we just looked at. Those look great. Here is some Atlas Snaptrack. Got a couple more tank cars here. Mobile gas and a liquid chlorine car, both those by Aurora from the Pocket Trains line, or the Postage Stamp Trains line, rather. Here is a manual for a Lionel piece. I don't think we have that Lionel piece in this haul, unfortunately. Here is a lovely tray of just various N-scale cars. Some of these you'll recognize from previous videos. Some of these I've never had. Standouts that I definitely see are the Wabash, Virginian, and Lackawanna cars up here. The Peabody Hopper is really nice too. I like these Pennsy bay windows. Everything else on here is pretty standard, but some really cool things in there for sure. I've definitely had the dry ice car before. We just grabbed one of these a minute ago. Texaco tank car is super common as well. But happy to have some loose N-scale rolling stock. Like I said, something I need to get more of. And here we just have some drill bits and kind of loose tooling and stuff. Not overtly train related, but I'm sure somebody could use it for something. And down here at the bottom is kind of the coolest thing in this box, in my opinion. We have not 1, not 2, but 3 Aurora postage stamp trains complete starter sets in here. And I think that the way they did these are super cool. They actually fold out. I mean, these are super compact. Unfortunately, I need to figure out a better way to pack it so that the track doesn't just fall out like this. But this is an entire train set in a box, and they're very, very affordable. These are not going to be terribly expensive in my store. But as you can see here, it includes 2 engines, a powered and a dummy Santa Fe F unit. Super common model, of course, but this is just such a cool set. I can't even fault it for having, you know, a really common engine model. It's very rare you'll see a starter set that can fit in such a compact box. I mean, you could travel with this. You could, you know, put this in a backpack. Super, super cool. And the fact that it's got the power pack and everything it needs. I might even hang on to one of these sets and do a little review video of it. Let me know what you guys think. I've never had one of these postage stamp sets come through in this good of condition and this complete. So let me know what you think. I would definitely like to make a little video on this set or something, because I think it's unique enough to do its own video. Especially because these came around at a time when people were downsizing their homes and things. It was very, very crucial for the success of these train companies to make something, you know, small and affordable. And in here we've got, you know, standard little selection of freight cars, but I love that it's got 2 engines. Super, super cool. I do need to figure out how to keep these tracks from falling out though, but that I might go ahead and do off camera. In the interest of not making a huge mess to pick up with all these sets, I'm not going to open the other 2, but these are, one of these is a Union Pacific set, and then we have a duplicate of the Santa Fe set there with the 2 F units. Let's go to the next box and see what else we got in this part 2 haul. All right, guys, and here is our next box. This one, oh boy, I am really excited to get these items out. There are some absolutely killer items in here. Some things that I've never seen in person. Some things that just fit my store beyond perfectly. So we're just going to go ahead and get right into this box. There are some really special items in here. And up first, this is a good one, guys. A gorgeous SD24, I believe, or SD24 for the Southern Railroad in that just stunning tuxedo paint scheme. This is a really high-end locomotive. I think it's made by a company called, it's Hallmark Models. It's made in Korea. I've never held one of these, but this thing is sharp. I mean, this is really the kind of stuff that I'm hoping to have more and more of in the store. Just the really high-end, you know, well-detailed items. I don't know exactly what year this was produced, but this is not a company that I'm super familiar with. But when I saw this item in this box, I knew that there were going to be a lot of great things in this tub, and that's just one of them right there. So that is definitely a great start to this box. And if you guys can even guess, these other boxes here are not going to slow down at all. Next up, we have a GP40 by Alco Models. And yeah, that's just another gorgeous, gorgeous HO Southern locomotive. Again, in the tuxedo paint scheme, very, very applicable to the area my store is in. And being close to TVRM, you can actually go see, you know, engines very, very similar to what these locomotives are, you know, actually in person and operating, which is cool. Even doing revenue freight, which is just unbelievable. This one is by a company called Red Ball, made in Japan. Again, not a company I'm super familiar with, but this is a really, really, really cool locomotive. This is a brand new Erie Lackawanna FM Trainmaster. I mean, this thing is just untouched. The quality on a locomotive like this is just far and above, you know, so much of the other stuff that HO was putting out at this time. I mean, this is just great. The detail on this is amazing. I cannot wait to get these things, you know, down to my test track. I know somebody just commented saying they want me to run trains when I buy them, and I think I definitely am going to start doing that. I've been meaning to do that for a long time. Up next, it's just another total heater here, but look at this thing. DL 440 for the Penn Central Railroad. Look at the detail on this thing, guys. Absolutely fantastic. Again, if it's been used, it hasn't been used much because it's in prime condition. The only thing I can see missing on any of these engines, I don't even know if they originally came with them, but it's the number boards. I don't know if there was supposed to be number boards and they're gone, or if that was something you had to get separately or what, but just absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. And here is our last of these amazing HO engines on top of this. I hope you guys can tell how excited I am about this box, because this is definitely one of my favorite boxes of things that I picked up during this trip to this gentleman's collection. But look at this Erie Alco PA. I mean, again, this is it's just stunning. So yeah, these are some really, really nice engines. I'm very, very thankful to get to put these on my shelves. Definitely some of the nicest HO engines that I've been able to stock so far. So I'm very, very happy about that, if you can't tell in my voice. That's pretty exciting. Not to kill the mood, but there's a box of Bachmann track, which, you know, that's like a $2 item right there. And then last but not least, I'm not going to pull all of these out because they've been put in here very nicely, but it is very appropriate that the Super Bowl was yesterday as of me filming this, because we have the entire set of NFL Super Bowl cars from Mantua. Now, it probably would have been a good idea to have these, you know, on the shelves before yesterday, but I didn't really have time to get them down to the store. But ironically enough, look, the first two cars that I see right off the top are the 49ers cars, which is very appropriate as they just played. I'm not the biggest football guy by any means, but I do think it's cool to have the Super Bowl cars in the store right after the 49ers win. I'm not going to take those all out of the box just in the interest of time. I think they're all pretty much the exact same car. But let's get to the next box, guys. All right, and here we are with the next box of this awesome model train store inventory train collection. Please forgive me if the washer and dryer are making a bunch of noise right now. We got some Athearn Blue Box stuff here to look at. You guys know how we love Athearn Blue Box here. And up first is a really nice, brand new California Zephyr diner car. I believe we have multiple pieces to this set inside of this box. Up next is a Roundhouse kit. This one is a nice Southern Pacific passenger car. A little bit of the more retro style there. Super, super cool. Not the Roundhouse box I usually get, interestingly enough. Like with all these boxes, most of the stuff is brand spanking new, which is just so cool. Here's the Southern Pacific kind of like gray daylight scheme. I'm sure there's a proper word for that. Overlay Unlimited paint scheme or something. Super nice Pullman coach there, heavyweight. Again, these Athearn Blue Box passenger cars are just always killer. Here we got a similar style, but Santa Fe this time, baggage car. Here is a really nice one, nice Milwaukee Road coach. Love that it has all the window inserts still on the sprue. That's a pretty common part of a lot of these kits that'll go missing. That's something you don't always see with them, which is super nice. Here's another one of those Santa Fe baggage cars. Here's a nice little Wabash work caboose. I believe we got one of those in one of these previous boxes. There's probably 2 or 3 of those in this collection total. Here's our first engine of this box. Really nice little Santa Fe. What was this, like a Baldwin, I believe? V1000 or something, I think is the engine model on these. I think this is the dummy, and we have a powered one in here as well, which is super cool. Here is the powered version of that engine. I think, were they different road numbers or were they the same road number? Either way, really cool to have a pair. I like getting pairs of engines because they'll look really, really good together. And here is an undecorated boxcar kit. Up next here is another one of these Santa Fe baggage cars. I believe that's our 3rd one there. That's the cool thing about getting like a store inventory like this is you'll have duplicate items. So if you run out of something, you'll have, you know, one in the backup, or I'll have one ready to go if I run out. Here is the observation car for that Burlington set. Once again, I think it's like the 2nd or 3rd one of those cars that we have that goes in that set. Here is a really, really unique one, the Model Railroader, like official observation car. That's very cool. I've never seen that before. I've seen plenty of Model Railroader and classic toy trains and, you know, all sorts of things like catalog cars or whatever, but I've never seen a passenger car done for Model Railroader. So that's pretty cool, to say the least. Really, really like that. There's another one of those Burlington observation cars. Like I said, it's cool to have doubles of things so that, you know, obviously, since I'm sure there's more than one person in the world that wants, you know, certain items, it's cool to have multiples of things in the backlogs and whatnot. Again, multiple right there, Southern Pacific coach, and yet another duplicate, one of the California Zephyr diner cars right there. Here is another duplicate, nice Milwaukee Road coach. And our last full-length Athearn box in here is a pretty cool one, really cool, BNSF H1 GP38-2. This is my 3rd blue box H1 engine to get. If you remember, in a fairly recent video, I had the SW 1500, I believe, and the Dash 9, which are both really cool. Those both sold like remarkably fast. So pretty happy to have that BNSF GP38 there. This box, I'm not going to pull out every item because our keen eyes here will see that every car in here is actually exactly the same, which is sort of how I just mentioned. Since this was a model train store inventory, you know, we're going to get a lot of like bulk orders of things. It's a pretty cool car to have multiples of, though. That would look great in a whole consist. But there are, I believe, 12 of these cars in there, and they're all identical, all the same car, and all brand new in that cool Norfolk and Western gondola scheme that we love so much. We got one more roundhouse kit floating down here. That's a New York Central refrigerator. That's really, really sharp. Nice REA colors on there. And here we have another one of those Wabash work cabooses. I believe that's going to bring the total of those up to 3 for this whole collection. And down at the bottom, this is the first one of these we've seen, but I've got at least like 6 more, I think, in this collection. This is a roundhouse sort of shipping box, but also a display. And as you can tell, this piece here will fold out and make a really cool store display, which I plan to use. But as you can see here, this was assortment number 892 CSX flags, assuming that's going to mean CSX fallen flags, you know, thinking along the lines of Chessie and L&N and stuff like that. The really cool thing with these is that this is how the dealer would have gotten them back in the 80s and 90s. So it's pretty cool to, you know, as a new model train store, receive something in the same way that it would have been received back when this stuff was actually made. And as you can see, this is definitely the CSX Fallen Flags line. I believe that there are 2 of every car in here. I'm really excited to get to actually use this store display box, you know, as it's intended. This is my favorite car in this lot easily. This is, you know, one that you can still see, you know, fairly commonly on CSX grain trains and stuff. The really cool Family Lines covered hopper. Nice Chessie boxcar there. I think there's 2 of every design, and there's 6 total designs, making it for 12 total cars in here, I believe. Nice Family Lines Clinchfield caboose there. I've had a couple of those come through before, but not in this new condition, of course. Really cool Chessie covered hopper there. Another really sharp one, in my opinion. Big fan of that. Here is a Western Maryland hopper. I might be wrong, but I think everything now is going to be a duplicate of everything that we just saw. Yeah, so there's our duplicate of the Clinchfield caboose. There's our duplicate of that chassis hopper. I love that I have like a full collection, you know, sort of like it was delivered. This is just so, so cool. There's our duplicate of that L&N boxcar, which I'm certain those will not last very long on the shelves. There's our duplicate of the grain car, our duplicate of the chassis boxcar, and last but not least, duplicate of that Western Maryland hopper. Big, big fan of this little assortment here. I like that Athearn, or Roundhouse rather, shipped this out as kind of a bulk pack of CSX Fallen Flags. That is super, super cool. Let's check out the next box and see what other surprises we have in store for us. All right, and this seems like a nice box to look at following the last one, because we have 3 more of those Roundhouse assortment boxes that we just saw in the last one. We'll go ahead and grab these out so that they're easier to look at. Again, forgive me if my AC is being super loud. I'm just trying to scramble and make sure I get all this stuff unboxed before a gig tonight. I'm very curious what the kind of assortment is for each of these. This first one says stock cars, so I'm thinking we're gonna have a bunch of miscellaneous cattle cars in here. That's just a totally wild guess, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. Yeah, we got Colorado and Southern. And like with the last one, I think that it's 6 variations, 2 of each, which would make sense because it's the second Colorado and Southern there. Okay, so I'm sort of picking up what we're looking at here. Here is Missouri Pacific, and I'm sure a second one will be under that. Here is Chicago and Northwestern, Baltimore and Ohio. I think we actually have a few more of those in a different box. That looks like something we've already opened. Okay, maybe this, because there's another Colorado and Southern, maybe the ones on the bottom are not actually arranged correctly. Northern Pacific, did we get another Northern Pacific? I think we might have, I might have spoken too soon. No, I'm pretty convinced that it's 2 of each, but we've only still gotten, what, 5 variations in this box? And I think that's our 3rd Northern Pacific. I'm super confused here, guys, but either way, we've got a lot of really nice cattle cars in here. I don't always get cattle cars, especially like nicer ones like Roundhouse kits and stuff, so that's pretty cool. Oh, here's a really cool one. Look at the side of this. Assortment number 873 Norfolk Southern Fallen Flags. I'm excited to see what exactly is in here, because like with that CSX one we just saw, there could be some really nice things in here. Great start there. 40-foot boxcar, nickel plate. I'm assuming we're gonna have a Southern and a Norfolk and Western of some sort in here. Oh, that's really cool. Norfolk Southern with an NW reporting mark. Hopper there, super, super sharp. That's actually not in the right box though, unfortunately. So we might have to do some swapping of boxes here. Yeah, there's that Wabash hopper. Again, this was in a box that said covered hopper Central of Georgia, so I'm thinking we're gonna need to switch out some of these boxes. However, that's a super, super cool one right there. Really, really happy about that. I actually can see here that the lid for this one was what was on that nickel plate boxcar. So now that is in the correct box there. Up next, we have Southern boxcar. This one is actually in the right box. That's a really sharp car there as well. It's another really cool one. This actually might be one of my less favorite Roundhouse cars that I've seen, just because I know Lifelike did one really similar to this, and it almost borderlines on looking cheap. I'm not really a fan of that color yellow. I get that probably is what is prototypical with that boxcar, but not really doing it for me in HO, unfortunately. I've never thought I'd say that I don't like a Roundhouse car, but not really doing it for me. This does though. Tag route, Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia, super, super appropriate for this area. And pretty cool because TVRM has got the tag number 80 down there that they run. GP38, I believe NS actually owned that at one point too. Here's a really, really nice one, 50-foot Wabash boxcar. So I'm thinking in this collection we might actually have more than just 2 of each car, because I think everything so far has been unique. Yeah, Willing and Lake Erie hopper. Wow, that's really, really sharp. Yeah, I guess that we might just have 1 unique car, 6 or 12 unique cars in this lot, which I'm actually really okay with, because these have been some really cool pieces of rolling stock so far. Central of Georgia hopper. How cool is that? And this actually, I believe that's going to go with that lid there. Super, super cool. I'm beyond thrilled with this assortment so far. Here's a Norfolk and Western gondola, very similar to the kind that we actually have like a dozen of that we just saw, but I'm pretty sure that that's a different road number and maybe a slightly different tooling. It's a cool boxcar. Illinois Terminal Railroad, I don't really get much of at all, which is super, super cool. And last but not least, to end off this amazing Norfolk Southern Fallen Flag assortment, is another really cool one. Nice Virginian boxcar there, super, super cool. Yeah, I'm really liking these like kind of assortments here. I'm a big, big fan of these, especially this one. The CSX one was awesome, but this one I almost like more just because everything was unique, and there were some really cool ones in there too. We've got one more assortment from that tub right there, so we're gonna go ahead and pull that out here in a second. All right, here's our next roundhouse assortment. This one says UP Gons. Someone has written bathtub gondolas there. If I remember correctly from when I looked at this, I think every car in here is the same. I think it's all just these in different road numbers. So I might just flip through a couple of these, and if they're all gonna be the same, we won't unbox every one of them. Yeah, I believe it's just each one of these is gonna be one of these UP bathtub gondolas, but with a different road number, which is, hey, still super, super cool. Somebody could make a really fantastic train with all of these cars, especially since they're different road numbers. That'd be super, super realistic. And there's 12 of them in here, which is just amazing. Super, super cool. We've got another box of these roundhouse assortments to look at. I think I'm gonna go grab that next for us to take a look at. All right, and as promised, here is our next box with some of these roundhouse assortments in it. We'll go ahead and get this big tub out of the way so we can take a look at what's inside of these. All right, up first we have, it looks like a duplicate of that CSX Fallen Flag set. I think this one's actually missing one car. I think it's maybe the L&N boxcar. I think we've seen that in a previous video. I'm not gonna go through all of these on camera just because we've already seen what's inside of here, but this is missing a couple cars, unfortunately. But I think they're in one of these other boxes, if I'm not mistaken. Here is a really cool one. This is another bathtub gondola collection, I believe, if I remember correctly. And I think similar to the UP lot, it's all of these console electric bathtub gondolas, again with all unique road numbers. I'm pretty sure that it's all the same road name in here, which is still great though. This is a really nice modern freight car here. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure I flipped through all these. Yeah, I think they're all gonna be that console paint scheme, which is still fine by me though. Really, really nice freight car. And to have 12 of them is pretty awesome. Someone's gonna make a great looking consist with all those cars. And we got one more roundhouse assortment in that box. This one looks like a third duplicate of that CSX Fallen Flags lot, and we'll just pop one open. Yeah, this is definitely gonna be a third pack of that. But honestly, if there was one of these that I'd want a bunch of duplicates of, it'd be that one with all the L&N and Tennessee sort of related stuff in it. So certainly fine by me. I'm not gonna complain about having too much L&N stuff. It's literally impossible. I can't keep L&N stuff on my shelves. So that's great. That is another super, super cool assortment. Guys, I'm loving getting to go through this collection. I'm looking forward to part 4 and final coming very soon. If you like what you saw, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.